welcome. So it's time for another adventure, and found myself here in the Kaimana. Was about 3 hours from home tonight. Should only be about just over 2, but LandRover. So not generally a big fan of getting to camp after dark, especially if it's camp that I don't know. Only seen one other vehicle that pulled in briefly, stopped, went for a quick walk in the opposite direction and left. So see what tonight brings. Just had another vehicle rock up looking for somebody else, so there's a few more campers around, but I believe I'm in the first campsite, and the bigger campsite's actually down further because this one's quite small, so I'll be going down to have a look at that tomorrow, but this one's nice and quiet. Getting a little bit of work done. I try not to take work away with me, but running a little bit behind. I'm doing something that doesn't require thinking and just requires time, because I've got time, but I'm all out of thinking at this time on a Friday night. So not too much action tonight. Very clear night sky, so I imagine it's going to be quite a cool night here because we're up at a reasonable altitude. I'm not quite sure how high I have feeling, around the 900 metres above sea level. About 9:15, 20 past 9-ish now. So there's just one thing to do. Good night. Well, that was a reasonably quiet night. Can't say it's a spectacular campsite, but it's quiet, and that was really nice. Well, that's awkward. Coffee's ready, breakfast cooking, and somewhere on the last trip I've misplaced my other knife. So there goes the dream of living like a bachelor for the weekend and doing no dishes. Coffee this morning is a Peru single origin from Empire Coffee Roasters. Very good through the clever dripper, actually. First time I've had it that way, which is the clever is my go-to. Hear a lot of noise about the AeroPress. I do use those as well. Absolutely love them. The thing I love about the clever dripper is it's just a set and forget. Put your water in, put your coffee in, just leave it to steep and drop it over the cup. There's nothing more to it than that. I've got a lot of coffee gear, and that is by far the simplest. And this time I didn't cheap out on bananas. I did last time, so they tasted awful. They ruined my French toast. The bonus is these are even organically grown, which, let's face it, from my experience with coffee, a lot of the farmers can't actually afford fertilizer anyway, but it just costs a whole lot more to be certified organic, but it's nice to reward them for the effort they're putting in. It's 20 to 8, the sun's starting to come up, and that means it's starting to get cold. Fingers are getting cold. So the best way to warm up my fingers is with a hot cup of coffee. 2 coffee got today. This seems to be becoming a habit. Can you look at that? Still on my way to getting my $12 worth out of my Kmart kettle. I think once I've had my coffee, it's time to get into it. The sun's starting to come up out there properly now. There's a couple of points of interest that I want to look at, including a bit of a mountain bike. Right, so just about time to leave. Gonna chuck on my gloves and pick up these few bits of rubbish that have just blown out of someone's campfire and haven't burned. Gloves have become really handy after leaving them in here from the bit of gardening, trimming the bush wire. It's always better than having to handle other people's rubbish. All in all, there's not actually much there, but still, it can be improved upon. So. Right, so magically transformed into a cyclist, which it's going to be really awkward if the first track is a walking track. After having a little bit of a walk around, I can't actually see what the fuss is about with Pillars of Hercules. I have read that it's not that easy to view from the bridge. So I'm going to ride this, probably ride the same way back, and I believe that it is possible to see more from across the bridge and further down the track. So hopefully that's the case, because it's quite remote and I don't believe I'll see anybody else at this time of the morning. I've got my inReach Okay, so 25 minutes, there and thereabouts, and I've made it to the desert road. And this is good indication why I don't recommend riding it. The desert road enters the high point, so it's all pretty much downhill back to the car park, and 4.5k, so it's not far either. Not a bad ride. I'll probably put a bit more of an update into the blog, which will be coming out. It's a reasonably new thing, but to go into a little bit more detail on some of these trips for those that are interested without making 3-hour-long feature-length videos. So let's head back, and that brings me to, I'm going to try and pack out a little bit of rubbish. You can see how close we are to the main road. Just going to switch cameras here. You can tell we're close to the road because all the rubbish begins. Hopefully this trick works. Just about to pick up a brown paper bag over there, and then I noticed a pair of underwear beside it and a bit of a suspicious looking smudge on it, so I decided to sidetrack that one and just let nature play its part, and hopefully it does. Don't know how successful this will be, but I have a plan. Got no problem with putting my tube in my frame bag, but I'm not putting rubbish in there. That leaves me with a solution. Okay, so that's not all of the rubbish, but it's about all I can really carry on the bike, I think. Can't help but think that these here bones probably aren't KFC. But either way, if you're having takeout, don't be a dick. So I didn't give up, and behind me you can see it managed to find Pillars of Hercules. While I don't condone vandalism, if it wasn't for the fact that somebody had scratched into the sign at the car park 10 minutes down the track to the left, I may not have considered looking down here. Managed to get it back and picked up some more. That's a win. Bike fits in here so well like this. Can cook, get at everything, sleep, work. It's absolutely perfect. Just down here at the Rangipo intake, and one of the dams, I can't quite remember the dam, but the Tongariro River is home to Whio, so native blue duck. Could see them before from a distance, but unable to get a photo or get them on video, they're just too far away. And just up behind me was Waikato Falls, which is quite cool too. I never knew that was there, so a bit of an explorer around here. It's good fun. Okay, so important lesson, don't walk backwards while filming. Stopped in Taumaranui. Sorry, no we're not. Turangi. And it's only a short 15-minute drive from urchin campsites and so on. And got a supermarket and otherwise here. The plan is sushi. It's actually been really pleasant sitting here and working a long way from home, nice and relaxed. I got disturbed before by a little bird. I'm going to have to look up and see what it was. It might have been a robin or something like that. Just listen to the birds flying overhead, getting some work done because you've got a little bit of internet reception. I did have some nice sunshine before, but that seems to have disappeared. So very soon I think it'll be time to get the fire on and ready for something. So I've parked down here, a little bit better spot than last night and relatively quiet. I had sunshine up there before, so that's why I'm parked 10 miles away from my fire. But now, let's see if I can make this burn with the little bit of paper that I've put in. I want enough for the morning. We've got fire. It's a painful exercise, but we've got fire. So that's a relief. My fire's not a complete disgrace. Where I've set it up, it's been damp all day. Like there's still dew on the ground, which is why I didn't park down here. With some of the firewood that I got was probably a little bit damp from in the forest too. Okay, so it's time to assemble dinner. None other than a burger, but a burger with a difference. It's the first one I've cooked on the fire. Well, it's morning again, and into another fire. One thing I've discovered is a small fire is an efficient fire. I've barely touched any of my firewood. As long as I can get my kettle boiled for a coffee and my hot plate hot for some bagels and banana, I'm going to be pretty happy. Made it through the Tree Trunk Gorge track, and been wanting to do this one for a long time. So now, back the way we came to avoid the desert road. Okay, confession time. I made that look easy because I made it incredibly difficult when I went the opposite direction. And so this time taking the camera through, I found the shallow line that I completely missed last time. But there's definitely no need to ice my ankle when I get back to the offender because that water is freezing. Alright, so just about to go up the Tukino access road up to the Skifield, but it was on the other side of the road, busy road, so I've come down to the rest area to turn around and found some treasure. Needs a little bit of panel beating, but I'm sure that I can accommodate that. It's all about leaving it better than how you found it. The shit you see dumped on the side of the road astounds me. It looks like we're approaching a locked gate, and that'll be the end of the drive up here, which is a bit of a shame. I have a feeling I know why. The gate is closed because of the raised alert level of volcanic activity. Reverse my way down to a suitable location to turn around.